Listen up or run for cover. Dropping knowledge from the people who have it to the people who need it. The real Brad Lee is dropping bombs.
What it is, Brad Lee back again with another episode of Dropping Bombs. Today in the studio, kids, I got a real treat for you if you like making money, if you're sitting at home, if you're sheltered in place and you want to make a little loot. I brought on an expert to help us talk about how exactly to do that. Folks, if you've never heard of John Crestani, you have now. John Crestani Official on Instagram. Go check out his YouTube. And it's J Travel Reality Films on YouTube.
Yeah. It's just search my name, John Crestani.
John Crestani, dude, interesting dude. I've been looking you up because I knew you were coming on the show. And for those of you that have not heard of John, folks, he's like a guru in affiliate marketing. What's cracking, John? Welcome to the show.
Dude, I'm doing good. I came off of a long I was hiking all day yesterday and practicing for the Pacific Crest Trail, and I'm just feeling good. I love it, getting some exercise out.
Well, what do you think about this whole crisis hasn't affected you at all, has it?
Not in the least bit.
See,
and
folks,
in fact, it's actually very good for business.
Oh, for you, absolutely. Listen, I was excited to have you coming on for one reason. My immediate goals right now is to find opportunities for people. So anyone in the bomb squad that might be furloughed, laid off, a little bit scared, not making money, I'm like, man, who can I bring on to show people how to make money from home? Because, dude, this crisis didn't even need to happen, and it's more of an ideal lifestyle in the first place. Now, what's your story? You basically were doing some corporate-y shit, and you finally said, "Fuck it."
Yeah. So I'd read the 4-Hour Work Week, and I read that book during college, and I just kind of it sounded a lot better to me than going the corporate path. And I said, I want to travel. I want to have lots of fun. I want to do lots of cool stuff, and I want to make lots of money. I mean, that just sounded, the entrepreneur life sounded a lot better than the corporate life.
Sure.
So it took me a few years, and yes, I did work corporate for 2 years. I first started doing cold calling. You know, I wanted to work for an internet company, and the fastest way to work for one was doing cold calling. So I did cold calling for 6 months, and I was shadowing people in the marketing department during that time. I'd given my 120 calls each day before 3. I'd walk down the hall to the marketing department, just shadow the guys for 6 months, every single day. And I learned marketing. Then I ended up kind of, time goes on, became the director of marketing. I added an additional $200,000 a month to my ad agency's billings. And not through sales, through just increasing the marketing spend of clients. And I realized I was good at marketing. I looked around at a lot of different business models, just like everybody else here. I'm a kid who started off with no skills. I tried everything. I found something that worked, and I just doubled down on it. And I kept learning, stayed focused. That's what I've been doing ever since.
And so now you make well over 7 figures a year, I imagine.
Yeah.
And basically living the life of a laptop lifestyle.
Yeah, essentially. I'm married with 2 kids, so you don't. It's they have preschool, and so I don't travel the world as much, just because we have to be close to the parents, be close to the preschool, etc. But the last few years, I think ever since 2014, I've made over $1 million a year. And overall, I'd say life is, financially fairly easy.
And you do it all with affiliate marketing.
Yeah, well, I sell courses now too. So about half of my income is course related, and about half of it is affiliate marketing related.
Hmm.
But that's growing actually as I've become slightly more popular on YouTube.
You know, I started what I call the LSVT Army, which was my attempt at affiliate marketing, because our system, which I don't know if you're on, if you're not, you should be, but our
Mhm.
interactive training system, mainly I started it out to sell courses of my own 20 years ago. Like before I started this whole thing, nobody knows that, but like I'm the father of online learning.
1999, right?
That's right.
That's crazy.
Right when the .com was crashing, and the internet just came out, and I accidentally did it. It wasn't a plan, but ultimately I was out training people, and I realized training people in person is not very effective because you don't get the repetition. You can't practice. You can't hold them accountable. You just
Mhm.
come in and talk and leave, and hopefully they pick some stuff up. But it's not very effective. That's the problem with most companies. They're training their people, or they think they are, but they're not. They're really just exposing their people. So 20 years ago, I realized, hey, this isn't really very effective. So let me see what I was doing prior to this, which was working extremely well. I was doing it manually, but I was implementing good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. And then I realized, man, I'm not doing it anymore now that I quit my job, and
Mhm.
I'm charging people to train their team. It wasn't really working. So I invented Lightspeed 20 years ago to deliver mine. And then it worked so well that I started showing it to, all the big name speakers and trainers. And, they started using it, and then companies started using it. And then here I am, a CEO of a tech company, um, which is crazy because I dropped out of high school in 11th grade. But needless to say, the LSVT Army is my attempt at affiliate marketing. Because of my training system, I created training on how to sell Lightspeed, how to, all its features, et cetera. So
Yeah.
I just one day said, hey, how'd you guys like to make a little extra side cash, or maybe even, a full-time gig? Go to LSVT Army. I've got like 1,500 people in there so far. They go through the training. I get them certified on how do you explain and represent Lightspeed well, and then I give them their little affiliate link, which leads to my landing page, which then obviously tracks their sales. And dude, I've got people making, good money, recurring revenue, and and when this whole thing happened, I'm like, dude, I'm going to go double down on the affiliate army, which is again an opportunity to make money. So with that being said, what is it about affiliate marketing that attracted you in the first place?
Sure. So when I first started, it was there's a lot of great things about it, especially compared to other businesses. If you're looking at the major online businesses, consulting, ad agency, e-commerce slash drop shipping, affiliate marketing, you don't need merchant processing. You don't need inventory. You don't need a printer to go around town putting up signs like "We buy ugly houses" or whatever. You don't need to talk to anybody. You don't need to manage any outsourced employees like you have to do if you create a social media marketing agency. You don't need any money to actually get started. Everything that you do is free, because it's free to post on Facebook. It's free to post on Pinterest. So it is it and it's cash flow positive. So you get paid every week. So you don't have to spend any money. You can make money doing it. And I tell people cash flow positive, is super important, because real estate isn't cash flow positive. You're spending money before you make money. Um, stock trading isn't cash flow positive. You're spending money before you hope for the return. Same thing with e-commerce. Affiliate marketing it's commission only sales on the internet. That's it. And it's the best. And we both know that commission only sales is the number one source for wealth creation.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's funny how many people are afraid to take commission only jobs. They're like, dude, what if I don't sell anything?
Yeah.
Then how am I supposed to pay my rent? It's like the same people that live in a shithole apartment. They're worried about giving up their shithole apartment. Because I tell people, I'm like, hey, man, why don't you do this? And, oh, dude, that's commission only. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, dude, I might not be able to pay rent. And I'm like, so? Like, dude, listen, you're scared to lose your shithole apartment? Like
Mhm.
you're afraid to lose something you don't even want. Why are people afraid to lose something they don't want? Like there's people right now living a life they don't want, in a relationship they don't want. A lot of things about their life is not necessarily what they want, and they're living it, and yet they're afraid to give it up. And something like affiliate marketing, man, it's like a no-brainer. So if I'm an affiliate marketer or I'm listening to this podcast and I'm like, dude, what's the best product or type of product or industry I should get in? What kind of product or affiliate program should I be looking for?
Sure. So I mean, the problem with that question is that's like, what should I sell, right? There's a million things to sell. I would say I kind of put it. I would put it in two categories. I would put it in health or money, and generally, and you either one has there's a lot of profit potential in there. If you don't like if you want to do more targeted marketing to rich people, mainly, just think older rich dudes, investment and business opportunities. Okay. That's big money, but less frequent commissions. Or you can get into marketing health products, skin creams, anti-anxiety pills, sleep pills, weight loss pills. There are supplements for everything nowadays. And you can market those, and those kind of reach everybody in the population because everybody's concerned about their health. So those are the two main categories: money or health. And if you stick to those, that's really all you need.
Do you have to know how to build landing pages and click funnels and know how to target market and use Facebook media buys, or can you just literally jump on board somebody else's bandwagon and make a decent living?
Yeah. So it's funny you asked that because that was, I've been running this training program for the last, like 3 years now. And we started off as a training program, and I was just teaching people how to do affiliate marketing, how to set up their landing pages, how to set up web hosting, how to set up a landing page, and how to put your affiliate link in it. It's probably the hardest part. And for years, I just kept just doing training. Every year I'd update the training, but our success rates were still not very good. And I said, it doesn't matter. Some people's lives are being changed. But I started thinking a little differently about business because the old me, I was very flashy. I'd go to Vegas every single weekend. Now I only go every other weekend. But I'd go to, and I was focused all about marketing, sales and marketing. And once I started actually looking at making a shift and saying, okay, I need to elevate this conversation here about education. And it's not just about learning affiliate marketing. We started creating tools to do those things for people, to, pre-built landing pages. We insert your affiliate link for you. And now we're a web hosting company. We're an affiliate web hosting company. I'd say we're the largest affiliate web hosting company. But we made that shift, like you said, and I've read a little bit about your story, and the success, when you see the success rates of students, it's troublesome. And you say, do they need more motivation? I don't know if you went through the same thing, but it's like, do they need more motivation? But what I realized is giving people tools and training combined, it sounds super plain vanilla, but that's where you create the most effective results. So if somebody's looking to get started, I would look at companies that provide both tools and training. I mean, obviously there's myself, but companies like ClickFunnels and other companies, I think, are just, you want to not only have the knowledge, but you want to have the advantage.
Yeah, that makes sense. Only because I think the reason tools and training are more effective is because it produces results. And the results are why it's more effective. It's not the tools, it's not the training, it's the fact that it works. Because again, if I said, hey, all you have to do is go to this landing page, sign up, and you'll make $5,000 a month, everyone would go. And if it made $5,000 a month, that would spread like wildfire. The problem is it takes work. It does take, you know, a
Mhm.
little bit of knowledge, a little bit of effort. You know, it takes a little bit of rejection. Everybody thinks they're going to get their link and send it to their 7 friends and everyone's going to buy it and they're going to be off and running. You know, interestingly enough, I'd like maybe to see about you consulting me on my affiliate program, only because if I walked you through my system, you'd be like, damn, because I guarantee you it's the most impressive training tool out there. And it's not hard to sell and it's not hard to market, but I've done a poor job giving people tools.
Oh,
So
I'd
it's
love,
like,
Brad. I'd love to. I'd love. This is what I eat, breathe, and sleep. We get 3 million visits a month from the affiliates that I'm training to my websites. So, you know, and that's become a large part of our business. But it's very simple.
do you care what they're marketing though?
It's the problem with affiliate marketing is it's sort of like opening Pandora's box. And it's very similar to having a team of commission-only salespeople. If they're outside of the office, you don't know what they say. If you're not recording their calls, they're going to do whatever they want. And you as a business owner just have to be able to work around that. It's logistics.
I'm okay with it as a business owner.
Yeah. I mean, if they're making sales, right? So it's definitely utilizing affiliates in a business is opening Pandora's box, because now you're allowing a large segment of people. And, you know, some people try to do kind of the in-between where they kind of pick and choose affiliates. But, you know, I've found that the Pandora's box approach and catering around that is very effective. At least it's been for my business.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna talk to you offline, only because, dude, my goal is to give somebody the opportunity to make money. Yours as well. My affiliates are passionate. They're fired up, but my tools are garbage, I think. They're not garbage. It's just I don't know what tools to give them, like web hosting and all these things. So I bet you, number one, I could do a Zoom call with the LSVT Army, promote it a little bit, and get a bunch of people in there that will buy your training, because I'll promote you as something they should do. I just want to make sure that they, like, if you tell them health and beauty, well, shit, dude, you just snagged half my army, because I'm not health or beauty. I'm a SaaS model.
Yeah.
And it's a little more difficult than just making a post. Now, I want to make it that easy, but there's a lot of questions with people. Like, again, if you just joined my LSVT Army, you would go into the system, you'd use the system to be trained, and you'd realize as you're being trained how the system works. You'd go, wow, this is pretty cool. And you'd think of probably a handful of people that you personally know that need this software. So you would shoot it out to those people. Those people would call you or email back, does it do this? Does it do this? Does it do this? And then they're like, then that's where they get stuck. They don't have the answers. Now, it's in the training, but not every possible scenario. So again, I haven't really focused on it, but I want to, and I don't want to, so I sell a lot, even though that's a cool little side result. I want to do it because there's a lot of people right now sitting at home with nothing to do. And I think if you can give them a free opportunity to sign up, and all they need to do is put in the work, you give them the tools, you give them the training, you give them the product, and all they have to do is the work. I think that's probably one of the smartest ways of marketing ever.
Dude, I totally agree. And I think this all kind of goes into what I'm really about, which is, as I said before, I want to elevate the conversation about education. You know, there are all these people that still believe like college and all this stuff. I mean, if you're learning, education should be about making money, period. It should be about making money, period. You know, if your education, you know, like I was looking at my stuff even too, right? If it's not creating jobs or incomes for people, then it's BS. It's just complete bullshit. Yeah. Now, you know what? So I think it just makes sense. Help people make money. Help people make money. That's all you guys do all day. And there's lots of people that need the product. So dude, if we're making deals here, are we already making deals here? What, we're a few minutes in?
Yeah, dude, I forgot we were on a Zoom, dude. So like that's the page I send them to. It explains it pretty easily. Look, enlist, train, get certified, sell, get paid. But I know if you came in here,
I'll even do a YouTube. I'll even do a YouTube video because I'm always trying to figure out topics to do. I do a YouTube video or two on how to promote Lightspeed, but we'll talk about all that offline. I don't.
Yeah, because I got this part down. Like when they log into this system, I can pop up, greet them. You know, I greet them right here.
This is good.
Welcome to the official training center.
You got to show them exactly what to do.
Yeah, and then
my approach to it is you show them exactly what to do. You say, these are the people. This is what you send via DM. You know, the types of people I talk to, they won't respond to a Facebook message, but they'll respond to an Instagram DM. You know these people. You know, you say, if they ask these questions, this is your response. It's just like sales. But one of the things that I do a lot differently is I just try to get people started making money, whether or not they have any money to invest in my training, which is why I teach on YouTube, and which is why I teach people to DM. Just send a direct message through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, any way you can reach a person. And I give people these conversation scripts. And that, when I realized that I could just teach people exactly what to do and have them market my own business, because I remember looking at my YouTube channel and I'm thinking, I got all these, half of my audience is from Pakistan and Nigeria, it feels like. And I say, these people don't have any money. They're never gonna sign up for anything. How can I make money from these people? How can I bleed a rock? And I said, you know what? I'm gonna put them to work. I'm just gonna put them to work. And I'm sure there are a lot of people who follow you who want to be put to work.
That's
There's
it.
very little work out there. So put them, but you have to show people exactly what to do. I want you hitting up these people. I want you conversating. I want you to send them an email, send them a text, and you just show them exactly what to do and where to go fish and send them out. And it's not complicated.
Dude, I want to do that. What's your YouTube channel?
It's my name, John Crestani. I put up videos every single day.
But I mean, what's it for? What do you
affiliate marketing?
Okay, so it's just focused on how to do the affiliate marketing.
Yeah, I got like 300 some thousand subscribers.
Damn.
It's I'd say it's the #1 channel in affiliate marketing right now. But it's really what it is my YouTube channel is just for me to train people how to market my product. That's what my YouTube channel is about.
Is your product a course?
Yeah, it's a $1,000 6-week training course on affiliate marketing.
And usually if someone musters up 1,000, borrows it from grandma, puts it on a credit card, hopefully within the 6-week course, they are able to make way more than that back.
Yeah, exactly. The goal with the course is to help people get to the point where they're making $2,500 a month with about $2,500 a week with up to 30 minutes of work. That's the goal.
Do you have to teach them Facebook media buys and targeting and all that, or are you just teaching them some just DM stuff?
So how we focused the course was, how I structured things was in the past was that I taught all the free traffic methods on YouTube, and I would teach how to use paid advertising in my course. But that's all evolving as we make the product better and as we listen more to our customers, which is something I didn't used to do. I used to be that guy in the Lamborghini in Vegas, all that stuff, flying my friends around, paying for their tickets everywhere because I used to be that guy, and I didn't listen to customers. But once I started listening to customers, everything changed in my business. And what I realized was that people also want free traffic, to do free traffic, even if they pay $1,000. And we started building automation tools. There's all these kind of things which pop a browser under your browser, and it does all this stuff. So we build automation tools to start doing more of the stuff, the DMing and all that stuff for our students while they, dick around on YouTube or whatever.
Well, if you don't suggest that technically I don't really care because I want them to make money at the end of the day, but man, I sure would hate to have you introduce or introduce you to the Army, because I think you'd be a great fit. Right now, I could call a meeting and have a bunch of people on there and say, look, guys, if you guys are struggling selling Lightspeed, listen to this guy, join his course, buy his course, use his tools, and sell Lightspeed, because I just want them to sell my product. I don't charge for anything. I just want them to sell my product. But I guess if push came to shove and they said, screw it, yours is too hard to sell, I'm going to go with this freaking face lotion. As long as they're making money, man, that's the ultimate goal, I guess.
Hey, you know what? I could even, yeah.
Or
Whatever
let's
you
switch.
want, man. You tell me. But I'm happy. I have a lot of free. I freed up my schedule a lot recently. We're actually working on TV infomercials, and it's kind of back and forth process. So I have time.
Dude, that's awesome. So where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Pacific Palisades, California, and I grew up I'd say sort of upper middle class. I definitely wasn't poor growing up. I grew up nice area, family, parents together.
Did they buy you a car at 16?
I got a car at 16. I got a Honda Civic, 1996 Honda Civic, and I totaled the fuck out of that. I was trying to race a Volkswagen Touareg on Sunset Boulevard, and I took a turn a little too fast, and I just totaled it. So I was fine, but I got a Mustang after that, and
graduated high school.
Graduated high school. Didn't graduate college.
Where'd you go to college?
Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. Gorgeous girls.
How long did you go there?
I went there from 2006 to 2008.
And then ultimately, at what point did you say, I'm done with this shit? You that was that thing you saw and you said, dude, this looks way better. 4-hour work week. That was it.
Yeah. So what happened was, I was kind of in the frat crowd at SMU, and I'd gotten into drugs. And
what kind of drugs?
What
kind of drugs?
Cocaine, marijuana, Xanax, ecstasy.
So you as a partier.
Yeah. I still love to party to this day. I just know how to moderate, I just know how to do stuff in moderation. I don't naturally have an addictive attitude, but there's so much social pressure at college, and you just don't know yourself fully. And I wanted to get out of that. I said, you know what? It's a downward spiral. It's not something where you're going anywhere. You're going nowhere with drugs. And I realized this isn't a game I want to win. Okay. And I don't want to win the cool, party scene thing. So what I decided to do, I basically left college. I said, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to work in LA. I'm going to, I'm going to really select my social circle to be full on capitalists. I said, this seems to be getting rich, seems to be the most obvious thing to do.
Yeah.
So I did that.
So at some point you got tired, you read the book and said, screw it now. But when you said, screw it, you had to take a little while to start winning. You didn't just win overnight, did you?
Funny you say that.
Because everybody hears stuff like this and then they go quit their job and then they go buy your course and all of a sudden 6 months later they're starving, and it's like they don't realize this shit didn't happen overnight.
Yeah, it didn't. So it was 4 long, hard years, but I had some intermediate wins that were pretty fast. So the first thing I tried, you want me to go through the things I tried?
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I tried right after I read the book, I was in Thailand. I was taking some time off. I had $5,000 saved up. And I went to Thailand, read the book. I said, okay, I'm going to start a business. And I went to Bangkok. I put up a Craigslist ad. I said, I'm American. I can get people working for me for free just because I'm American and I'm white. So I said, I'm just going to get people to work for me for free. Screw it. I'm going to use my advantage. I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Is that the white privilege they talk about?
Yeah, I said, fuck it. I'm going to use that all the way. Yeah, the white privilege. So I got some people. I said, I'm doing a YouTube show about backpacking around the world. on a budget because I think it's really awesome. I love backpacking. I love meeting people. I love meeting strangers, and it didn't work out. I did like 12 episodes of this YouTube show called The Backpacker. It just didn't work out. Got no views. Nobody wanted to watch it. Boring as shit. Went back and I started, the book said, look at what assets you have that are useful. And I said, okay, well, I had some pretty good notes, class notes on, and all the example questions for some online courses that I had taken at Southern Methodist University. So I said, I'm going to go to college. I'm going to go to the local colleges and try to sell them. I think they're valuable. They got a lot of the questions and answers that are on the actual tests. So I put up these little flyers, these little tear tab flyers like this.
Yeah.
And I wrote a headline on here. It was like, I got the class notes to all the online business courses. I just wrote it, put it up, put an email on here. Nobody contacted me. I went all around and I was just like, oh man. But what I did, I could have quit there, but I'd say it took me 2 months of split testing headlines and putting up flyers twice a week to find a winning headline. And I think it was about like a dozen or 14 attempts of just split testing headlines. And finally, after about 2 months or whatever, I put up a flyer. Every single tab was torn.
What was the headline?
Hold on. Let me think. I got it. B+ or better in FIN 303OL guaranteed or your money back. And FIN 303OL was a gateway course that about 4,000 or 5,000 people a semester went through.
Do you think split testing is crucial?
Oh, dude, I never know what works in marketing. I'm the least intuitive, least creative. I have no idea whatever works in marketing. It's bothersome to me actually, because you'd think after 10 years doing this, I'd have a better idea, but I have no idea.
So do you know how many people probably give up because they run a few ads and they don't split test? They don't keep trying new headlines. They just say, screw it. It didn't work. Nobody wants my notes.
That's the problem with, in some way, shape or form, that's the problem with every person is losing in business. They don't stick in it long enough. Are you supposed
to split test even one that does work? Like, let's say I put out an ad and it's crushing it. Should I still split test?
Hell yeah. Of course.
Because maybe the crushing it is actually sucking wind. You just aren't aware of it.
That's how you win. Every year that you don't do anything, if you're running an online business, every year you don't make your business better, it's going to contract by half. That's my philosophy, or I believe that very strongly. Because it's very competitive on online space. You have to constantly be making things better. And frankly, that's just good business. You're always going to try to do a better sales pitch, a better close, create a better product.
If somebody said, listen, I've got 3 months to live, John, and I need to make some money to backpack with my kids. I only got 90 days left with them. I'll give you all the money I have. Let's say it's a good chunk of change, but I need you to tell me 3 main things that would take normal people years to learn. What would those 3 things be?
Okay. Can I give you 5 things?
Yeah, give me 5. Okay. Man, you're over delivering. That's already a principle. See, okay. I asked for 3. He wants to give me 5. That's marketing 201.
Well, I think it's important. I actually was thinking about this question last night before I came on here, because I really wanted to have, and I wrote down the headline, 5 steps to success, because I think it's really important. And I think there's a lot of misinformation. So step number 1 is PMA, positive mental attitude. Okay. Perception is everything. If you think you're going to win, you're going to win.
Is that number two, or is that still number one?
That's number one.
Okay. PMA, perceptions
Positive yeah. Number two, hang out where the money is. Number three, ask lots of questions. Number four, make yourself useful. And number five is make rich people richer. You're doing deals with your broke buddy in his network marketing company, you're not going to go anywhere. You want to work with winners.
Those are some pretty good ones. I would have to agree with every one of them. I was more pertaining to affiliate marketing, but
yeah,
those are just good life lessons all around.
I actually, so let's break this down to affiliate marketing level. Okay. Positive mental attitude. First off, if you go into it with a positive mental attitude, you're not going to fucking cancel your ads after the first one fails, because you know it's going to win. So you're going to keep going. You're going to keep testing. You're not looking for a one shot, this isn't deal, this isn't some sort of like you're raising investment where you have one shot, one kill with an investor. There's 6 billion people on the internet. So if you go into it with a positive mental attitude, you'll stick through things. You won't quit, because you only fail if you quit. Hanging out where the money is another thing. Is if you're trying to market to people, don't be marketing to broke people. Market to, market to rich people, and hang out where other successful affiliates are, or other successful internet business owners are, because then you start learning from them. Like watching this podcast. You bring on I really like the diversity of people you bring on. I think it's really good. And almost every one of them is successful. So stuff like this is 100% what people should be watching or listening to. Now, asking questions, that's another thing, is I will literally on Facebook, I will message people who have seen my ad, and I'll ask them what they think about it. Anybody who leaves comments on my ads on Facebook, I ask them questions, because I want to understand why they didn't buy. I want to talk to, I still talk to my customers even to this day. I take time. We have tens of thousands of customers. I still call them up on the phone. These are people who bought, and also people who didn't buy. And I'll fucking talk to somebody who registered for my webinar. I say, why didn't you buy? What was not interesting? What was it too hard? Did it seem too complicated? Were you confused about something? Was something not clear? I figure it out, because you talk to a customer, they tell you why they didn't buy. And then your marketing gets better, that much better. All I need is a couple conversations, and my marketing's going to improve. Fourth thing I said was make yourself useful. I would just say, provide, part of affiliate marketing is you're providing some people something free, some free information, whether it's knowledge, but you're adding some value to the world. I give out free training. We do thousands of hours of free training, maybe tens of thousands of hours every single day. And that's free. I'm making myself useful. And number 4 was make rich people richer. Is you don't want to take chances working with an affiliate offer that isn't winning just because you like it, or because I used this product myself and it only has a 5% commission, but I really like it, so I'm going to try to market it. That's the biggest mistake I see people make. Just follow the money. It's just follow the money. Who is winning the most? Who has the best affiliate program in whatever niche you're going after? Just follow the money.
How do you find that out? Who has the best?
What?
How do you know who has the best?
On ClickBank, you can look at Gravity. You can talk to affiliate managers, and again, if you're hanging out where other successful business owners are, you are one click away. Most affiliate networks tell which is the best, but if you hang out where the money is, you just talk to people and you're one degree away.
Those are 5 life lessons that can be applied to anything, folks. So if I were you, I'd pull over the truck and write those down. Positive mental attitude. I know a buddy of mine named Bobby Castro. You know who he is?
No.
Built up a company, sold it for $1 billion a little while ago. He's got about 300 million invested in cash flow assets, properties, apartment buildings, commercial centers. Just cool dude. Came from nothing. You know, all he says is PMA, brother. PMA. He says the number one thing that anyone can do is PMA. And he's not even in affiliate marketing. So that applies to affiliate marketing and it applies to life. Hang out where the money is. Dude, I've said that a million times. People are always like, you know, well, how do I get to meet people like you? I'm like, what do you mean? They're like, you know, well, you get to hang out with all these rich people and be, you know, how do you get to hang around influential people? And I said, dude, number one, you become influential.
Yeah.
Okay. Like you have to become influential to hang around the influential. Okay. And then number two, I said, hang out at the country clubs, hang out at the places the rich people are hanging out. Like if you want to be influential, where are all the influential people? Hang out there and then be influential. So hang out where the money is very similar to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. This actually reminds me of, that's actually how I found out about my first affiliate program. And that's how I found out about affiliate marketing and the first affiliate program I ever started making money with. And I was able, in my early 20s, I was making $50,000 profit a month because I hung out with where the rich people were. And what happened was I was trying to hang out, you know, I worked every day to 6 o'clock. That's when it ended. And then I had, you know, whatever, I had 6 hours to basically learn or meet rich people or whatever. So I found out on Eventbrite about this marketing mastermind called the Secret Society. It was run by this guy, Neil Strauss. He was some pickup artist dude. And he was holding this event at the Roosevelt Hotel in Hollywood. I wasn't invited to this event. I didn't pay $50,000. I didn't have a ticket. I didn't know, you know, but I did know one person who was going as a guest, but he couldn't get me in. So I snuck in. I did what I could, the only option available. Now, most people would probably say, you know, oh, you know, I don't have a ticket. But I snuck in. I found a way to sneak in. And I met this guy who was a 8-figure net worth marketer called Kelly Felix, who he was running a gold investment company that did about 50 million a year. And I talked to him and he said, oh, we could use a guy with your skills. How about we pay for the advertising and and any sales that come in, if it creates more revenues, you just get all the commission. You get the 3% of all investment. And I said, are you kidding me? They said, yeah, no risk to you. They said, we just need more sales. We're pretty profitable and we want to grow faster. So I said, sure, that's great. Just from being at the right place at the right time. And that deal made me about $50,000 a month, $25,000 to $50,000 a month over every month for 2 years. That was from being at the right place at the right time. I was around the money.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I'm going to call those the Crestani 5.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
So what's a starting budget if I were to jump in and find it? I'm not destitute, so it's like I would throw a budget to roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? Like some people, hey man, drive some free traffic. If it works out, parlay it. I'd start out with some, but what's a decent budget before you can determine whether something's working or not?
2 G's.
2 G's. 2 G bones.
It's the cheapest business you can possibly start anywhere.
What about webinars? Now, do the webinars still work?
Yeah, they work really amazingly for selling business opportunities. Although I have, yeah, I mean, we use webinars in our business and they work amazingly. I mean,
Do they work any better live than recorded?
I'd say 100%. Yeah, 100%. And oftentimes when you're doing live webinars with like JV deals, there's a series of emails that is pre-selling the live webinar. So that helps too in these JV deals. The other reason live webinars work is I'd say, it depends. So there's different things here. So if you're using EverWebinar versus GoToWebinar, the problem is that GoToWebinar can't break out of a tab. You're in the zone. You can't go to another tab on your browser. So you're fully focused if you're on that webinar. Whereas the issue with EverWebinar is that you can go into other tabs while you have the webinar playing. So you lose a lot of people because of that potential for distraction.
So you would recommend GoToWebinar out of all the webinars? What about Zoom? Not with Zoom?
I'd recommend GoToWebinar because people get distracted easily. People's attention spans are like goldfish. And that's how the media wants it. That's what they encourage. So you don't want the opportunity for them to get into other tabs.
Interesting. So if I'm going to go to webinar, I can't open up another browser?
No, you can't. You're in there. You have to download it, and it's its own box. It's its own window. Yeah.
Yeah. Normally, if I was going to do a webinar, because dude, I haven't marketed my company in 20 years. Like, I don't know how it's grown other than referrals, and then we go to a convention here and there. So we've done some marketing, but I mean, not like real marketing, not like intelligent marketing.
Yeah.
I just brought on a new CMO that does a lot of the intelligent marketing, I call it. So we're about ready to blow it up big time, but I would have used just the Zoom webinar. I wouldn't even have known that. So go to webinar.
I think the best thing to do is look at how your buyers like to buy, like your customers. How do they like to buy? Because ultimately it doesn't matter. What works for one area might work for another. Now the typical kind of PowerPoint presentation type of thing, it's very common in business environments. I think for more consumer-based advertising, you have to get more personal. But do your buyers like to buy off of looking at some sort of spec document? Are you selling to the technical person? Well, the technical person isn't probably going to look at, if you're selling to the web developer or whatever, I don't think webinars are necessarily their thing. Are you selling to the marketer? Are you selling to the, how do they like to buy? Because every industry is slightly different. So that's all I would really look at. How do they make their buying decisions, backwards engineer from there? Because really it's not about how we want to sell. It's about how they like to buy.
What do you think would be more sellable in the affiliate world, a course or a platform? Like, in other words, if I wanted to sell Lightspeed VT, where again, it's just a tool is all it is. Like you have to create content, load it up there, make a landing page, sell your course. You have to do all these things with a platform, a SaaS model platform. But a course, obviously you just pay for the course. So what do you think's easier, a course or a SaaS? Should I be selling Lightspeed on these webinars, or should I sell a course on how to do something?
Lightspeed. I mean, that's what's selling. You sell Lightspeed, but my thoughts right off the bat, because you're putting me on the spot about how this is sold. One, I think webinars are definitely a good safe idea. Totally. Because you teach them about something, these are the things I learned from running a online because I have a bunch of questions for you, because I'm interested in you have a large number of educators on your platform. So you get to I just know metrics from my business, but you have all these data points to look at. So I'm really interested. I mean, these are things I would 100% tune into webinars, something like this. You know, what trends do you see happening in the training industry? Where is it moving? Do you see that the most successful thing is serial launching new courses, or is it just having one course and refining it over and over? You know, what all the different things because you probably get a lot of data. You probably have a lot of people using your platform, huh?
A lot of people.
Yeah. How many, I mean, if you don't mind me asking, like, can you wow me with some numbers, or is that all confidential?
Like what though? Like what?
Just like how many, I don't know, how many trainers or how many visits or how many people or how much video, you know, how many students are going through all of the,
We have about 2.9 million users.
what?
And we have about 967 subject matter experts.
Wow.
And we have thousands of businesses on the platform. And the reason why is because, like Grant Cardone, for example,
Yeah.
you know, I showed him how to do it all, by the way, but he's got businesses that have people. And then he also sells to people. So these marketers out there in the world, there's a lot of them that are just trying to sell people. Well, the problem is people buy once and or they don't let you whack their card $1,000, $2,000 a month. People don't do that. Okay. Businesses will do that. And the reason why they'll do that is because they want your library of content for their turnover, because your content's new to a business every month they hire somebody. So most marketers are missing that. So I keep telling my clients, look, it's great to go out and get, you know, Jim and Mary and Sue and whatever to pay $9.97 for your course and then hopefully upgrade them to something else. But you can go get freaking Fred's pool service on your sales training and they'll pay you $1,000 a month for 20 years. Like I've got companies that I sold my training to 20 years ago, still paying me $1,000 a month for the last 20 years. And I haven't touched my content. I haven't done anything. I sold them 20 years ago and they've been paying me ever since. Why? Because when they log in, the tracking and the reporting and the testing and they can create passwords for new people and they can drop in their own content and sexual harassment. And I built this marketplace that has all of my trainers in there. So it's like a Netflix for training. Yeah. So I built that in there. So it's like, dude, I'm just getting paid every single month for access to something I created 20 years ago. So to me, that's what I drive people towards. Like, you know, but then again, there's people that they're just looking for individuals. Like they would not be able to sell a business their course. Like I have a guy that trains people how to quit their job. Well, businesses aren't going to deploy that one. So in that case, it's individuals. I call it B2B, B2C. So if you're selling B2C, sounds like you sell B2C, you know, our platform's still really kick ass and there's a lot of reasons to use it, but it's not as valuable as if you're selling to businesses. And the reason why is because our system, you can press a button and create another system, which is just now, we call it a location in your system. So you can create a different user experience all the way down to the password. You can create different branding. So like if you sell, you know, FedEx, they log in, they see FedEx, UPS sees UPS, Kawasaki sees Kawasaki. And they have their own little controls and systems and ethoses that they get to operate in, and you control it all. You can communicate all this. So it's ideal for businesses. Like there's nothing in the world of businesses. But I forgot your question, but that brings me up to another question. So like if I were to do a webinar and teach people how to build a course, one of the secret things that I should be doing is driving them to our biggest strength, right? So like I should be saying now, folks, most people are out there selling individuals. And I'm sure you've heard a million people tell you to spin up one of them Kajabi deals and slap up a video and put a price and run with it. Well, the problem with that is what I just mentioned. The advantage of doing it to businesses is you get paid forever. And then all of a sudden people go, oh, I get it. And so I drive them to the strengths of my platform, correct?
Yeah. Basically the way you structure a webinar is the same way you structure sales presentation, more or less, but it's a bit more tactical. Everything you train people on, let's say you train people on 7 mistakes that info product entrepreneurs usually make. Every single mistake should relate to an objection that the prospect may bring up. So here, let me give you an example. You know, my presentation is on 7 mistakes or something like that, 5 mistakes that that people make to try to make money online. One of the questions my prospects have is, can I do affiliate marketing anywhere in the world? Right? So one of the things I train people on is, look, affiliate marketing can be done anywhere in the world. Let me show you how. And I say a lot of people just focus on America because, that's where most of the money is. But what they don't realize is if you market in Australia, you're going to see or New Zealand, you're going to see ROIs through the roof because you don't have as many capitalists there.
Not to mention ads are cheaper elsewhere too, aren't they?
Exactly. So I'll train people on that. Then the next thing I might say is another mistake people make is just thinking that they need to learn any programming whatsoever, that they need to learn photo edit, all this stuff. And I say none of that is necessary. You don't need to spend all this time on YouTube video, or whatever. You don't need technical skills. And I show people, I say, there are tools that do everything for you now. You just need to know what the tools are and where to find them. And again, of course, I'm addressing an objection that, oh, this business may be technical, but I'm also pre-framing. I'm making it easier to buy my product at the end of the webinar because I've already addressed the objection. So my training presentation is completely built around the end goal. It's training, but it's also built around what the product I'm trying to sell, which is just obvious.
So if I wanted to relate that to Lightspeed, people's objection is, I don't know anything I don't think people will buy my course. So I would say something like, a lot of people think, well, what do I know? No one's going to buy my course. And theoretically and realistically, there's people out there buying how to grow larger tomatoes, how to get a 2-pound crop out of a 1-pound, field. There almost anything is sellable like that.
Yeah.
When do you ask for the close? Because I know that there's these webinars. I know this guy named Jason Fladlian. Do you know Jason?
Yeah, I've read his book. I've watched some of his webinars.
Yeah, so he always says there's a definite flow to a webinar, and if you don't master it, you could have a webinar and not sell anything. And so, like, should I buy his book? Like, is there a particular flow, or do you just say, nah, man, I basically pre-frame the objections, and then when do you go for okay, so here's your special, guys, because that's usually when you see the numbers. Yep. There's 2,000 people on a webinar, and then here comes the money, and it's and all of a sudden there's 400 people listening to the offer.
Yeah. I think Jason's interesting, right? Because he's known as the webinar expert, but I've only seen him do like warm webinars to he's created like Brandon Burchard's webinar and stuff, but he has a list. It's all warm. He's not doing cold marketing. So, so I don't always take everything everybody says at face value, but generally speaking, yeah, all of those things make sense. But what the biggest thing is, what are your buyers? How do they like to buy? Are they going to be, if they're marketers, they probably won't be off put by the, price, they know, I don't know. You just, what's going to sit well with your prospect, and then just get in the game. You don't need to overthink it. You aren't gonna, what is it? You're not gonna make, my grandpa once told me, you're gonna catch more fish if you're out on the boat fishing than if you're sitting on the couch. So just put something up. And
also, like, my software can do a lot of things. Businesses use it for a lot of different things. Like, for example, we just released this interactive landing page creator, which is like a ClickFunnels, but people are like, well, where do you write all the copy and all that? And I'm like, you don't need copy if you have an interactive funnel. Yeah. You see, you make an interactive video, so you don't need all the copy, because when people get to the landing page, your video begins, you pop up, start asking questions and getting data and adapting your message to the things that they're picking and clicking. It's amazing conversion wise. So you don't need all the copy, because the video is the copy. And so like I just released that. Now I've got people signing up for a Lightspeed system, which is technically supposed to be a training system.
Yeah.
They're not even using it for training. They're using it just to create these interactive landing pages because the conversion is like 400 or 500% higher than a normal landing page. So they use it for that. Then I've got businesses. They're not looking to sell any courses and make money online. They're looking to train their people, their teams, their franchises, their employees. So like you talk to them differently. Then I've got subject matter experts like you that are like, dude, I want to make a course and tell me why yours is better. So with that, I don't want to have a webinar that addresses them all. I want to have 3 different webinars, correct?
I have one. I don't believe so. So the problem with having that I found with having lots of different sales funnels is that typically it creates organizational inertia that makes just makes testing, that makes talking to the customers go slower. And also, I always believe in growth, right? I'm big about just winning the game of business and always growing. So I'm always trying to get a broader audience. We've been doubling every single year my revenues for the last 3 or 4 years because we've been focused on broadening our market. Every year I'll put up 1 or 2 new webinars, and my language gets done. It goes from 5th grade to 4th grade to 3rd grade to 2nd grade. My language level gets lower. I use less jargon and I reach a broader audience. I just believe in growth. So I think if you're niching down too much, you're actually inhibiting growth because you're creating that inertia. And then in order to expand, I just think it's getting off message. You want a message that speaks on a broader scale. And I'm not sure what that's what I personally believe. If you really want to hit other markets of people that don't watch, that don't watch webinars, I would say start doing, you have a lot of data, do infographics on LinkedIn or send stuff to the press if you really want to get those different buckets of people. But try something else, right? If it's not a webinar, maybe it's direct messaging. I'm sure you're doing this already, sales prospects on LinkedIn and set up a meeting. I don't know, but I think you do different channels rather than trying to create, a 20 different niche webinars. I just, every time I see people do that, I see them spinning their wheels for a while and not doing anything. I personally think it's from a place of fear that you create a lot of different funnels because, or you create a lot of different webinars when you should really just create one that works, look at the comments, talk to the customers, hear their feedback, and then shoot a better one next week, and just do that for a couple weeks, and it'll be gold.
Well, the reason I say it is because you want to hyper focus a little bit. Like if I were to say in an ad, hey, learn how to train your employees better, you wouldn't even reply to that ad. But if I said in the ad, learn how to triple your revenues if you're selling courses online, well, now the business wouldn't reply to that ad, but you would. So it's so because the same platform does both. I thought, and again, I'm not arguing with you, I'm just telling you why I was thinking that. If I'm going after you or a Tony Robbins or someone who's selling online courses, my copy would be different and it would not resonate to a business trying to train employees because it's not even the same thing, and vice versa. So if I had one webinar that talked about all the things you can do with the system, well, if I started out with training their employees and I'm talking about the ROIs of training their people better, I'm losing you. You joined to figure out how to make money, and I haven't even talked about it for 30 minutes. So you might be lost. Where if I talk to you first, hey, here's how you upsell them, and here's how the interactivity collects data and adapts the content so your conversion goes through the roof, an employer would be like, what is this about? And they would be lost. So I thought my solution was, I just have 2 different webinars. I advertise for this webinar this way. When you come in, I talk straight about making money, and that's just a make money webinar. And then over here, train your people better at work. And then I talk straight to ROI on the benefits of training properly at a company. And I don't even bring up how you can make money with it. You don't think there's any validation with that? You don't think that's legit thinking? Because I'll lose you if you joined and I started talking about training your employees and you're like, dude, I don't train employees. I'm freaking selling courses. Like, you'd jump off.
Yeah. So, and sorry, I'm just kind of thinking through how to phrase the answer here, but I guess I found that creating a winning marketing funnel, just like creating a winning sales pitch, takes so much sort of high level thinking and input from the entrepreneur that's working it, that trying to create a bunch of different funnels in an already existing business, it's almost not even possible from a time or a focus perspective. I'm not Elon Musk here. I'm not here, able to run 3 businesses. I don't know. I guess I always just did stuff the simple way. I just focus on one funnel. That's the way I've done it. I'm sure it works the other way. I don't know. Maybe I'm lazy. Maybe I'm, but I just focus on one funnel and I try to grow it. I figure I can still grow it a lot more with my one funnel. That's all I got. So
that's one last question for you, because I know you got to run. Let me ask you.
No, I got questions for you, man.
All right. Well, last question I got for you is, do you believe that people, especially in that world, need to fake it until they make it?
Oh, that's interesting. I believe there's some level of like an unnatural confidence that you've got to have in business to really have that positive, to really have your perception be a reality. I mean, if you want to be a multimillionaire or whatever, I guess I just had to have an unnatural level of confidence to go into these risky businesses that I went into. I think being an athlete helps, or being athletic. But I think it does take some level of fake it till you make it. You gotta, even if you're, you gotta go, even if your business is failing and, most people fail in doing sales or marketing, you just gotta be positive. You just gotta go through it and know that you're going to win.
But
I would say yes.
So like, for example, like, you see these people online, they're selling courses or consulting, and they're driving a Ferrari. And then you find out, oh shit, dude, that Ferrari's leased, which by the way, still is expensive. But point being is, some people will hate on that. Like, oh, these gurus, they don't even own the Ferrari. Well, at the end of the day, the question is do you think the Ferrari sells more courses?
Oh yeah. I started up in the game. We have in my webinar, I actually land it opens with me landing in a helicopter. I like flying helicopters. So I just land on the lawn, and then I get in the house and I start doing a webinar. The next webinar I do, I'm going to actually do it on either a yacht or a private jet. I'm not sure.
So you have a whole crew then, because how do they get you outside and then inside and then boom, it leads to the webinar? Is it all pre-filmed or something?
Yeah, I had like I don't know, I had like 5 people come out. For my last webinar, I rented like a 14 bedroom ranch out in Palm Springs, and I had a crew of like 5 people come out to film, and then I had a bunch of my buddies because there are extra places, so I just had a bunch of buddies and successful students come out. And I mean, we've been upping. We're definitely upping the ante in terms of marketing.
If anyone's listening to this saying, dude, I got the balls and the money, I want to try a webinar, do you teach people how to put them on, what equipment to use, how to film the good shit?
just market my webinar. It's going to be better than any webinar. You probably, those, if people are trying to get in this space, just market my webinar.
How do they do that? If somebody wants to make money with you, where do they go?
You just follow my YouTube channel, John Crestani, or go on ClickBank and find my product. Just search my name. But yeah, I would say just market my webinar. We again, our goal is to make people lots of money, and our affiliates is our number one goal, making our affiliates money. That's why we focus so much on monetization with our funnel, so that our affiliates make money. And we pay out about $500,000 every single month to our affiliates right now. So we know, when I say education should be about making money, we know it is. We have proof. We see we're making the payments. We're paying out $500,000 a month. So we know it works. And I think it's exciting. So it's hard to tweak a webinar to that level though on a consumer market, but I don't even write my own scripts now. I have a partner who writes, I just kind of perform the webinar. I don't even write my own webinars anymore.
What questions you got for me?
Yeah, man. Sorry, we went off on, that's cool stuff. And if you ever want me to talk more about webinars and how to do a proper webinar, dude, I'll that's a very long subject. I could come on anytime and talk about that, because we've been doing this for years.
Well, I'm going to connect with you offline and cool. See what you can do to help me. Cause dude, I got a killer product. It's not as easy to sell as like a lotion or something. So it's not ideal for affiliate marketing per se, but I want to blend affiliate marketing with 1099 workforce. Like I'll train you and I'll get you up to speed, and it's not going to be here, take this link, post it here and make a bunch of money. Like you're going to have to talk and explain, but you're also going to get paid recurring revenue. I don't know of a lot of affiliate deals out there that pay recurring.
No, there aren't a lot, and that's a huge advantage.
Yeah, and I want to.
I also want to say, dude, I respect you, man. I've been watching your stuff. I guess you're really motivational to me and kind of how I've been running my business, because as I said, we started as a training company and now we're a web hosting company. And I was wondering kind of what made the shift for you from selling training, right? You were great at sales and selling training courses, to like creating a software company. Like what was that like thing where you're like, oh, instead of just selling more training, I need this is going to be a software company. It's not going to be.
Well, number one, it was out of necessity, accidentally almost. It's not like I was a genius. I was out running around training people that I was charging between $5,000 and $10,000 a day. I realized it wasn't working very well, and I didn't really like traveling as much as I did. I had a family and I was living out of a suitcase, and like I'd miss soccer games and football games. And I'm like, dude, I don't like the whole living out of a suitcase by myself thing. And it was just, you just hired me. I came in to your company for a day, hey, everybody, gather around, and I didn't really like it. So I had, and it's a longer story, but ultimately I had realized it didn't work very well. There was a couple of things that I couldn't do in person and make it work. So I thought I have to figure out a way to make this, easier and better anyway. So I created these interactive CD-ROMs. This was like 99. Mm-hmm. So these interactive CD-ROMs I started selling. So now I didn't have to be there in person. They would just watch
ROMs. Yeah,
they were cool then too. I mean, back then no one was doing it. So I created these interactive CD-ROMs so I could deliver everything I was going to say if I showed up, but I don't need to show up anymore because the CD-ROM says it all. Yeah. So I started selling the CD-ROMs, and then I did a money back guarantee where if they didn't work, I would give your money back. But I had to make sure the disclaimer was that everybody went through it. So a couple of people wanted their money back, and I realized I couldn't see if they trained. So now I had to go there to see if they trained and test them. And I didn't have the money to go there. So like I didn't have the money to give it back in the first place because I was living on this money. You bought from me, bro. That was my rent. That was my freaking expenses. So the money was gone as soon as you gave it to me. I didn't have the money to give back, but a guarantee did make people buy. So I gave a guarantee just knowing that if they do what I tell them, it will work. So I was confident that the product would work, but I also knew people didn't really do the work. So I had to travel to test people. I didn't have the money to give back. I didn't have the money to travel. And when I was there, I realized I need to be able to see who's training. So I need to put this CD-ROM online. So then I said, how do I get this CD-ROM online? And then I built the training system, Lightspeed VT, first version of it. And I put it online, and that was still just a training company, but I went from a live training company to a CD-ROM training company to now an internet-based training company. And then what happened is I went out and knocked on a bunch of doors and everything was going good. And I just hit a wall. I couldn't sell anybody else because everybody else already did business with this person and already was in love with this trainer and this trainer and this trainer. And so I got tired of arguing that I'm better than all these people. I couldn't convince the minions. I called them, oh, dude, you're a minion of this guy or this girl. So I couldn't convince them that I was better, and I just hit a wall, and I wanted to keep selling. So I'm like, if I had this person that you're so in love with in this system, would you do it then? And they're like, oh yeah, if you had this person, I'd buy this right now. So I went to the person that they wanted and I said, dude, why don't I take my name off? And I even know where you have a customer already. And they'll pay you $1,000 a month. Look what I'm doing. Look what I'm making. And so they're like, well, some of them said yes. Some of them said, I don't get it. And, at the end of the day, I started selling trainers to use my system. I just private labeled it for them, took my shit out, put their shit in. And then I started making way more money because they had big names. And I'm like, well, shit, dude, I don't know why I'm out there beating myself up trying to be a trainer. Why don't I just focus on the software and support the trainers? So, and it's easier to collaborate than it was to compete. So I just decided to collaborate with them, take a little, what I call piece for my niece, a little sliver to deliver, and let them go knock on the doors and spend the big ad budgets and market, because dude, I didn't have to do any of it. I just focused on the software. And so now all of these big names came around: John Maxwell, Zig Ziglar, Tom Hopkins, Brian Tracy, like all the names back in the day that you can think of, I was closing. So I became known as the guy who closes the guy that teaches you to close.
Yeah.
So, and I was writing off their revenue and their marketing, and nobody really knew who I was because I private labeled it for them. So that's how I created the software and said, screw it, I'm not going to train anymore. Plus they'd get pissed because I know where their customers are. And if they were buying mine, because a couple of them got tired of the trainer and then called me and said, okay, I want yours. And then the trainer would call me and be like, hey, why are you selling my customer your training? I'm like, dude, they called me. What do you want me to do? So I eventually just stopped training a little bit and focused on the software. Then the experts that I started on, they started selling it to the companies. And then the companies would call the expert and say, hey, you don't train on sexual harassment, but we sure love your system. Where'd you get this system? And then they'd say, well, we got it from Lightspeed. So then the company would call, and I'd start to sell companies and franchises and associations and hotels and restaurants and schools. And now I'm a software company.
Dude, that is epic. Because I mean, I see guys like Grant Cardone who just, who went the route where they just, I'm sure he had a lot of people that weren't having success, but he said, I'm just going to sell more stuff. I'm just going to get social media famous to get these, because he's selling CD-ROMs or DVDs or something too. So, and he went a different route with it. But personally, I think what you did, you said, just make it better, make it easier, make it better. And
Grant, dude, when I met him, he was just doing the same thing I was doing, but he was doing it at a higher level. He was making about $1 million a year, maybe $2 million. He was more known, but he was just training car salesmen. So I built him a system. I paid for it because he didn't think it would work. And I said, dude, I'll pay for it. So I paid to have all his shit filmed. And I told him, here's a couple deals for you. Here's how you sell them. So he went out and started selling them. And then basically, I said, dude, you got to get out of the car business or grow outside of it. And he's like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, dude, there's like other people that need to learn how to sell. Like you could teach anyone sales. Sales is sales. And he's like, well, yeah, but I say car. And I'm like, well, dude, just quit saying car and start saying product. Like quit using car specific terminology and start saying product and stuff.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it for like 3 months. So finally, me and my partner sat there and I said, let's create Cardone University and then I'll go show it to him. And so I basically mocked up Cardone University, which is his non-automotive product. His actual automotive product that he started with is called Cardone On Demand. So you have Cardone On Demand, and now you have Cardone University. So he wasn't planning on going outside of the auto space until I said, dude, you need to get outside of the car market. And so I built him Cardone University. And then when he saw it, he was going somewhere or did something, and he promoted it. And a bunch of people bought it that weren't car salesmen. And he's like, holy shit, dude, this works. And so now he just went crazy and he started selling it. And then one time we were riding around in LA, somebody canceled something he had going on to be on some stage or show. I can't remember what it was. And he goes, dude, I can't stand when people control this. He goes, I'm going to make myself a celebrity. I said, what do you mean? He goes, you watch, I'm going to make myself a celebrity. And so that's when he started making those little Grant rants. Yeah. And he started putting them on YouTube and putting them everywhere. And sure enough, dude, within 4 years, dude, he exploded into what he is today. And he did a great job. I mean, he's a master at getting attention and marketing and, all of that. He's, his sales training's pretty good. Only because I'm a sales trainer, I wouldn't rate it as high as like an average person would. Because like, for example, he says to follow up. Okay, dude, listen, if any salesman starts following up, they're going to double their paycheck. So he'd go in and tell someone, okay, you got to follow up. You got to follow up. You got to follow up. So they'd start following up and then their checks would triple and they'd be like, oh my God, he's a guru. And I'm thinking as a sales trainer, I already knew that. I'm thinking, dude, all you did was follow up, you idiot. But then again, there was probably a little jealousy in there because they loved Grant instead of me. So at the end of the day, Grant has good content. He's helped a lot of people make a lot of money, but what he really does well is marketing. Yeah. Like the 10X conference, dude. I sat there one time when he was sitting there and I said, dude, if I had your money, I'd just do my own conference. He looks at me like cross-eyed a little bit. And then within a week he called me and he said, dude, what do you think of this 10X growth conference? I said, wow. Sweet, dude. Now you're talking. And he goes, dude, you got to speak at it. I said, don't have to ask me twice. So boom, 10X started. And now, dude, he took 10X to a whole nother level. Now people are paying him to speak at that event. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, Tony Robbins, when I closed him, he was already what I call fat and happy. Like,
did you close him or did you close somebody on his team?
No, I closed Tony.
Okay.
Like, dude, he leaves me. He doesn't much anymore, but I can play you voice messages from Tony. Like, I closed Tony. I was at his house in West Palm Beach. And he was basically saying no again for the 100th time. And I said, Tony, let me ask you a question. And he was kicking me out. I'm busy because he is a busy son of a bitch, dude. That guy's a hardworking son of a bitch. Oh, I bet. But anyway, he was kicking me out. He was politely telling me, okay, next. And I'm like, I didn't get the deal. And I go, Tony, before I leave, let me ask you a question. I go, how many people come to your live events? He said, I don't know, on average 10 or 20,000. And I said, well, dude, let me ask you a question. If you're so keen on helping people, what about the other 7 billion people that aren't there? Mm-hmm. And he goes, Brad, I just don't want to give you 20%. And I said, well, what if we made a little negotiation and I just got a little, because you're going to have to pay something to deliver the training, even if you built it yourself. And he said, all right. And so he said, all right, if you do that, we got a deal. So I said, high five. Cause I figured if I got Tony Robbins, everybody would do it. Guess what? Nobody gave a fuck. I had Tony Robbins. Nobody cares. Now people care because they hear how many big names I have, but one individual name did not ever make a difference. Matter of fact, Grant Cardone's name made a bigger difference than Tony Robbins because Grant was so prolific. A lot of people, believe it or not, until recently, Tony's making a comeback. A lot of millennials didn't even know who Tony Robbins was, but they knew who Grant was. Yeah.
Yeah. That's definitely how it's like now.
And, now we got Damon John, World Series of Poker, UFC, Top Chef, Gold's Gyms. Now all of a sudden it's like we've got a lot of names. So credibility wise, we don't have to mess with it. But a lot of people, they're like, I get people from Kajabi and there's a couple other ones out there and they're like, well, what's the difference between Lightspeed and Kajabi? And I say, well, first of all, if you get Kajabi, dude, you're going to get a hand Kajabi or a blow Kajabi, but you're not going to get a training system because it's not a training system. It's a hosting solution. Yeah. So if you want someone to learn what's in your system, you want Lightspeed. Yeah, but you guys rev share, and we don't like to rev share. Like, why would we give you a piece of our money? I said, here's why. If you can make $1 million doing this all by yourself on Kajabi, give me what you did with Kajabi. I'll create interactivity that adapts, collects data, and upsells within the video. So you don't have to market to them later. You market to them while they're in your course. I'll bet you money you make more than you're making than you're paying me. You'll make more than I'm taking. In other words, if you make $1 million without me, you'll make 2 million with me. So, so what do you want? You want 80% of 2 million, or you want 100% of $1 million?
Yeah.
And not only that, you have my whole team. We have graphic artists. We have web developers. We have funnel creators. We've got 3 kick-ass studios. We've got editors. We've got everything you need to sell courseware. Not to mention, I got a network. I can pick up the phone and call Tony Robbins and Grant Cardone and all these people. Like Damon John did about $500,000 at his 10X event. He brought me on stage to sell it, but he did about $500,000 in that quick. And I got him on the 10X event. So it's like, dude, if you're on Lightspeed, well, dude, it behooves me to get you known and making money. And people don't get that. You want to be by yourself and make 100% of the money? Or would you rather be in a network with these big names on a platform that's 10 times better, more credible, make you more money, and have a team around you for what I call a fraction of the action? It's just because people's mindset needs to be shifted. Like, dude, I would rather have 80% and a team and a network and a platform, a quality platform, than I would 100% of my own efforts.
I 100% agree with everything you're saying. And in fact, what's funny about this is I'm working with a partner, and to do all of that stuff, I did the exact same deal. I gave him 20% because I figure I want a much bigger pie. I'd rather have a slightly smaller piece of a much bigger pie. And I found that that's how you grow businesses. If you're just relying on your own efforts, on figuring it all out yourself, you're shooting yourself in the foot, and you're going to start behind all the guys who are using the best stuff. So
yeah, like here's an example. Normally I won't put someone on dropping bombs if they're not on Lightspeed, but they sell courses. I'm like, do they have courses? Yeah, they're on Kajabi or they're on some other one. I'm like, oh, pass. They're like, what do you mean? I'm not promoting anybody that ain't on Lightspeed. So getting on Lightspeed, all of a sudden, boom, I put them on dropping bombs. Dude, they end up doing good sales just because they're on dropping bombs. I mean, the people that listen to this podcast, I call them the bomb squad. Dude, they're hustlers. They're entrepreneurs. They know I'm not trying to sell them shit. This ain't a sell. This is, I'm interviewing freaking John Crestani. They're like, dude, I like this guy, and they buy your shit. Well, dude, I didn't sell them your shit. I'm not endorsing your shit. We're talking about affiliate programs. If you guys want to go make money in affiliate marketing, John Crestani showing a lot of people how to make money. Maybe you should reach out to him. Like, I don't care. I'm not getting paid. Have me and you made a deal that if anyone buys your course, I get something? No, because I don't do that, dude. If I bring someone on, it's to help the bomb squad. It's to help the listeners. I don't give a shit that I make money or don't make money. But if you were on Lightspeed, just so happens I also make money because I get a piece for my niece. I get a tad because I'm Brad. But at the end of the day, at the end of the day, the real reason people got to understand Lightspeed as opposed to all these other platforms is because interactive video, when you get in Lightspeed, it gives you a tool to create interactive video. If you understand how to create interactive video and why you should, it's a no-brainer. Most marketers are driving traffic to what I call a dead video. In other words, it just plays. It just plays. It doesn't ask questions and it doesn't adapt. See, there's 4 buying styles. If I ask you a few questions and find out you're analytical, the rest of my presentation is all stats. Boom, you buy. Where if before I didn't know you were analytical, I would have not bought. So it raises conversion when you can get interactivity, and it allows you to collect data while they're in your course. Most people sell a course, and now I've got your email, so I'm going to market to you again and again and again. And then what do people say when you're blowing up their email? Oh my God, dude, this guy won't leave me alone. How about when we go through my course, I ask you a couple of questions and conveniently upsell you while you're in the course or at the precise time you're ready to go to the next level. And it's an interactive button and option right inside your course.
Yeah.
Well, then that way, if you send people to a dead video, you hope to get at them again. But this way, let's say, for example, you charge $1,000 for your course. Mm-hmm. Well, if I would have asked everybody in your course that went through your course, hey, by the way, you want this tool? Click. Hey, by the way, do you want to upgrade to this advanced? Click. By the way, would you like to click, click, click? Not only would you have gotten so much data you couldn't imagine, you would have upsold those people without any additional marketing. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And what I'm also getting is interactive video. You guys have found to be a huge thing, because that's something we've never done. And I mean, I think that's, it's complicated to do, but that's really,
it's not though. It's not complicated, because we built the Lightspeed system gives you this interactive video composer is what we call it. So you upload just a couple of videos and you basically weave them together, press a button, and you're done. And then that's what an interactive landing page is. Awesome. I can go in and create a landing page or a Facebook ad that leads to the landing page in 5 seconds, grab my interactive video. I don't need copy. I don't need opt-ins, because it's all in the video.
What sort of trends do you see in the training industry right now, and where do you think it's going? Like, where, what are the next, like you're innovating with interactive video. I think that's a big innovation, but what are the next things?
Well, believe it or not, people are just getting to video, plain ass video. Mm-hmm. So interactivity is the next thing. I've just been doing it for 20 years. Interactivity, people are starting to realize, holy shit, way better, way more engaging. I can collect data. I can literally, like, if someone's in my course and I ask a question that leads me to believe they're suicidal, I can text somebody in real time and say, dude, that guy's about ready to kill himself. And they reach out to that individual user where they would have no way of knowing before. Or what about, John, I'm sure you have a higher ticket mastermind, 25 grand deal. So maybe I embed into your course, by the way, just let me help me customize this course. What's the most money you've ever made? What's your average yearly income? And then I realize, oh shit, dude, this guy said he'd be interested in the 25 grand. So rather than hoping later and blanket marketing everybody, I can stop marketing campaigns where someone said they don't have any money. They gave me it all with the 997. They don't have any money to do this. So the data you get allows you to future, not only immediately pop up, but I can text one of your salespeople, this guy just pressed this button. And if anyone presses that button, I need to talk to him. So imagine I'm in your course, it's 11 at night. I press the button tomorrow morning, dude, it's a lead waiting for your salesman that says, this guy said he'd be willing to discuss a 25 grand option. So it's just, how do you leverage it, which is what most people don't know. But I think the future is interactivity. And the reason why, I mean, you're starting to see it on TV shows, you're starting to see it in movies, but when it comes to training, you're going to see it. And here's why.
That's sick. Yeah.
In order to effectively train somebody, and this is what people don't get, you need good content, which you have good content, let's say. But if someone goes through your course one time, John, versus someone who goes through it 20 times, I guarantee you the guy that went through it 20 times will know more and learn more than the first one. Mm-hmm. Okay, so your system does not assign, track, or measure repetition.
No.
Well, dude, repetition is key to learning. So our system allows you to assign, measure, and track how many times they went through it. So in my sales training, for example, it's one of the most effective closing courses on the internet. Everyone will tell you. Why? Dude, I make them go through it 7 times. And it's like, I get notices all the time, dude, I was pissed until I hit about the 5th time and I was picking up these, and man, now I'm starting to, and it's like, dude, I can't believe how repetition works. So look, good content, repetition, practice. We've got built-in role-playing tools, practice, and accountability. We track, measure, and monitor everything. If I told you right now, I bought your course a year ago, tell me where I fucked up. You can't answer me. You don't know what I learned, what I didn't learn. You probably didn't even test me. Yeah. So again, with Lightspeed, I could log in. What's your name? Boom, bang. I'd go, oh, you were pretty good here. Here's where you were screwing up, bro. And by the way, I wouldn't have had to wait, because while you were screwing up, I would have popped up and said, hey, you need a little mentoring. It's $1,000 a month, but it sounds like you could probably use a little one-on-one mentoring. Boom. Just got $5,000 from a dude that gave me $97 for my course. Yeah. So when people use it intelligently, it's amazing. And then when you use it for a business, like to train my employees, right now I've got 80 employees sitting at home. How do I know what they're doing? Well, dude, all I do every day is log into Lightspeed, assign them a training course. And if they're not training, they ain't doing shit else either.
And so by the way, that is so freaking rad. 80 employees. You single-handedly created the income, or maybe not, whatever, for 80 people, 80 families.
Well, that's just my company, but dude, Grant Cardone employs a bunch. And again, his team was built on Lightspeed. Like his whole, like now he's Cardone Capital, but dude, all of that was built on the back of Lightspeed. When I met him, he was making $1.5 million a year, getting ready to get divorced from Elena. Not literally, but they were fighting because he was always on the road. He told the story. Like when someone said, ooh, dude, what if Grant hears it? I'm like, dude, I got the video where he's the one that said this. But yeah, he was on the road 250 days a year. He had to figure out something, and he was making about $1 million or $2 million training. Right now, his VT system does anywhere between $3 and $5 million a month.
Dude,
a month.
Autopilot,
and he doesn't go anywhere. But anyway, so how he built that is, as I was down in LA, because the first 18 months he didn't sell shit. And I call him, I'm like, dude, what are you doing? I'm making more money than you and you're Grant Cardone. He's like, well, you know, I'm busy and I'm buying real estate. And I'm like, dude, listen, you got to hire some salespeople. You got to call these dealerships. They're not just going to freaking reach out to you, dude. You got to call these dealerships, hire 3 or 4 salespeople, and let's train them to call these dealerships. So, dude, he wasn't scared to spend money. So he called me and he said, dude, I got 3 sales guys. Let's train them. So we went down, trained the sales guys. Boom. They started calling dealerships. Boom. 3 turned into 10, 10 turned into 20, 20 turned into 50. He built the whole thing off the back of recurring revenue. I'd like to say Lightspeed, but he could have probably did it on another platform had he known how to, but he didn't. So he needed me for sure. But because he was on Lightspeed, the features Lightspeed afforded these businesses, the library of content that I was allowed to let him leverage, which wasn't his content, the relationships and whatnot, you know, all factored into it. But at the end of the day, the recurring revenue is almost like when you go to a casino and you got chips.
Yeah. Like,
dude, he started spending $500,000 a month marketing. Do you know how everybody knows who Grant Cardone is? $500,000 a month marketing. That's how. Yeah. Most people don't have $500,000 to invest in marketing. Well, when you got a recurring revenue of $3 to $5 million and it's funny money, because what's his expense other than commission? Nothing, dude.
Nothing.
I had to pay to deliver it. I host everything. I paid for everything. He didn't pay shit. So at the end of the day, it's real easy to spend $500,000 blowing up your brand when you got $3 to $5 million coming in for basically nothing.
Yeah.
So dude, I always tell people, like, you want to be big like Grant Cardone? They're like, what do you mean? Dude, I'll Ty Lopez, Grant Cardone, anybody, Gary Vee. You want me to show you how to get famous like them? Give me $1 million a month. I'll put you on Facebook. Every YouTube that pops up, your face will be seen. Now, they may not like you, and you may not parlay it into revenue like they did, but I can make you famous, kid, real easy. $1 million a month advertising. Everyone will know who you fucking are. They may not like you, but they will know you.
Yep.
And according to Grant, which is true, if they don't know you, they can't flow you.
Yep. So true. So true. And this is my last question before wrapping things up, but I'm oh shit, where the fuck did it go? Oh yeah, so I'm talking, like my next call actually is I'm talking with some investment bankers. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, but they are interested in working with me, they basically want to like roll up companies. They want to raise a little money, prepare me to raise a little money in order to buy other companies in my industry. And they think then they could do a second raise and just sell, a lot, make, sell it for a lot of money. And this is a world I know nothing about, but you're in the software space, you're in the tech space. You have a big company that does very well. And I don't know if you've been approached with these options or whatnot before, but I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that, because I'm completely naive. I don't speak this language, but it sounds intriguing and the upside is insane.
Dude, if you got excited about what you're doing,
Yeah.
you'll freak out with what they're doing. I mean, dude, it's a whole nother world, this shit they're doing.
Yeah.
And yes, I have been approached, and yes, I've considered it on a couple of occasions. And ultimately what it is figure like a pyramid, like draw a little pyramid in your head.
Yep.
Just the shape of one, not a pyramid scheme, but it's a pyramid because it goes up like this. So there's a bottom rung like this. These guys want to buy revenue. They just want to buy your revenue.
That's what they want. That's what they want. They want. Yeah, exactly. That's what they want.
Yeah. Because the rung above them, they are looking to buy revenue to sell to the rung above them. And eventually they get to like Blackstone and IMG and the multiples are ridiculous. And all they're buying is revenues. Like, believe it or not, if you're profitable, they don't like you as much. Why? Well, because they don't think you're maximized if you're profitable. So at the end of the day, these companies, and there's all kinds of levels, these companies, these investment bankers, they're looking for companies doing, for example, 2 to 5 million. And they'll raise 50. And by the way, a lot of times you don't even get paid, dude. You take trade. Like when you hear people, oh, he sold his company for $100 million, dude, he's lucky if he got 5 million.
They're vultures. They want to vulture deals. They said they want to work with me, and they want to prepare me and find beleaguered business owners.
Yeah. And what happens is these business owners, they sell thinking they're getting rolled up to this public company. And then the public company ultimately buys 10 of them, puts $50 million in revenue on the book, sells it for a multiple of, 5 to the one above them. And they're just buying revenue. Why? Because of stock markets, dude.
Why didn't you do it? Why?
Well, because I'm not stupid.
Okay. Oh, okay. Go on. Please go on.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, dude, as soon as you sign a piece of paper, they own your company, whether you got paid or not. Now, would I do it? Absolutely. But the terms were not okay. They wanted me to wait for my money and exchange my money for stock that's publicly traded that I can't sell for a year. It's like, dude, that publicly traded companies get kicked off NASDAQ all day long. They get delisted left and right. So it's like, I could have ended up, wow, look what I did. But dude, those are very rare. A lot of times, you sell your company and they kick your ass out, and then they screw up the future, and your shares are worthless. So basically you had control, you had this, you had that. Now you have nothing because you were bewildered about a $20 million buyout. Well, what was the term? Well, you're going to get, and let's say you're doing 2 million a year, 20 million for 2 million. Because dude, these first rung people, they'll give you like 10 to 20 times earnings. So like if you're doing $2 million, they'll offer you $20 million. You'll think, shit, dude, that'll take me 20 years to earn that shit. I'll take that.
Yep.
But you're not reading the fine print. And the fine print says, yeah, you're going to get 20 million. We're going to give you 300,000 upon closing. Okay. then you're going to get shares that are worth 20 million. You're not getting the cash. And then a year from now, you got 20 million in value. So it was kind of like that why I didn't do it. It was all these terms, and I realized
it's funny money. It's not.
Yeah, as soon as you sign that piece of paper, dude, you don't own your company no more. They could literally bounce your $300 check, and now you got to sue these motherfuckers to get your company back. Why? Well, because dude, they own your company. So I looked at the terms, and the terms were not ideal for me. Okay. But I was open to it because same reason. I mean, dude, if you'll give me 10 years worth of my earnings, I'm 51 right now. I'm like, shit, dude, I want to start traveling and relaxing. And like, people always say, well, you can do it now if you really wanted to. I know, dude, but I got some weird thing where I've got to reach $1 billion. I got to be able to say I sold my company for $1 billion. And right now, it was like, I think their offer was like, 60 million. I'm like, 60 million. Come on, dude. I need a little bit better than that. And then by the way, depending on the timing, you could get 30 times earnings, not 30 times net,
Yeah.
30 times earnings.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're doing, depending on the year, but we're doing, 30 times earnings right now is almost $1 billion. So like, motherfucker, I want way more. So just wasn't the right time. If I was you, I would look into it. A lot of times it works out, but more times it does not.
Interesting.
You know why? Because dude, you're swallowing up companies and they're going to sell it to the company above. And sometimes that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know enough about it, bro. I know some people I could introduce you to that are like, that's what they do. Because dude, it's a big business. When I started realizing, so you don't care if I'm losing money? Like, I don't get why you'd buy my business if you're losing money. Well, because they can go put $39 million on the books. Mm-hmm. And $39 million in revenue generates their valuation goes up just because they did 39 more million in revenue, not costs. They don't care if I lost money. In other words, I put 39 million in revenue on the books. That makes my money go up. It doesn't matter if I spent 40 million to do it. Does it make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. I'm writing some notes. But
what those guys do is they buy the revenue, and then ultimately 2 or 3 years, they exit by selling it to someone a little bit above them. And then there's less multiples. And then those guys do it for a few less multiples. And then eventually your goal is to sell to the real companies, the big companies for like a 3 to 5x multiple. And sometimes you hit a winner and sometimes you don't. But with those guys, they're all Harvard. I'm telling you, dude, when I started realizing what they're doing, I'm like, are you kidding me? Because you know what they're playing with? Public money. It's unlimited. Yeah. It's unlimited. Yeah. If I can go tell my stockholders,
money there.
Well, yeah, if I can go tell my stockholders and my shareholders, hey, we just bought this company and we bought this company, and man, the future looks bright, and everybody wants to invest, and my stock goes up, that's what they're doing. It doesn't matter what the actual company's doing. It's almost like a scam, Wall Street.
It's really interesting, but the amount of money there, I mean, we both talk about following the money, or I do at least, it's definitely enamoring. So, but these guys are sharks, so like, dude. I know they're they're in suits, they're wearing suits, but these guys are, I'm definitely a little wary at the same time. So, it's interesting.
Well, it's a big game, dude. Like I said, if you like what you're doing, when you start to realize what they're doing, it's a game so big you can't even imagine how big that game is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little fascinating, but it's a little scary at the same time. Well, dude, we have a lot of stuff to follow up on. Do you want me to just I don't know, should I just email you and we talk sometime later?
Well, folks, yeah, I'm gonna shut this down, and then we'll exchange some info.
Okay, sounds good.
Hey, but dude, I appreciate you coming on, dropping bombs, folks. If you guys are interested in learning more, make sure you reach out to him. Go to his YouTube channel. If you're sitting home broke, scared shitless, can't pay your rent, dude, you already heard, doesn't cost you much. And if anything, you want to know exactly how to do it. I think he said, what was it, $1,000? So go borrow $1,000 from your granny and go give it to John Crestani and freaking start making yourself some money. Until next time, and by the way, share this out with people in case you're set, fine, and happy, but maybe your cousin Vinny needs to hear this. So share this shit out so someone else can hear it. And until next time, man, keep it real.